And I found my beat in Oscar Wilde's Battle of the Reading Gaol, a family favourite. For each man kills the thing he loves, by each let this be heard. The brave man does it with a sword. I found my beat, but you also have to find a purpose. And of course, my purpose was this festival, which inspired me a great deal. And I've learned an awful lot about the mining industry through having done this. But I realized there was something else, that I owed someone something. And as you get older, you've got to pay your debts, balance the books. And the person I owed something to was a gentleman called Christopher Bland, who was deputy manager of the Tilmanston and Chislett collieries. And in his retirement, just before his retirement, he came to me many, many years ago for piano lessons from scratch, and he wanted to take his grades. And showing enormous determination and strength of will, he got up to and passed his grade 6 before he became ill and passed away. And I was very fond of Chris Bland and owed him an awful lot in terms of general worldly know-how and humour, and also the understanding which he imparted to me that if you want to get something done in life, you really do have to push hard to do it. So this poem, Kent Pits, about the Kent coal mining industry, is written to my old pal and pupil, Chris Bland. Kent Pits. If you stand high on Shakespeare Cliff, just where it falls away, look down the edge and there you'll see, if it's a pleasant day, upon a new-made ground built there, like mice, people at play. A curious spot called Samphire Hoe, a man-made piece of ground, where idle people come and go, or fish, or walk around, or stand and watch the ebb and flow of tide in Dover Sound. And this is where Kent's first coal mine, the Shakespeare, was dug below. For there they sank the Brady pit, a sorry tale of woe. Shakespeare himself stood on this spot 400 years ago. And when they dug 300 feet, through walls the water burst, and men fled back up to the light and just escaped the worst, most fearsome death that can be had. But this was just the first. For then they sank the Simpson pit, and water came again. Quickly it filled the mine so fast that it drowned 8 good men. But 6 survived by scrambling up the shaft to light again. Snowdon's mine's first sod was cut by Dame Weston Plumtree. Once more the water flooded it, once more a tragedy. That is recorded in the book of Kent's coal mining industry. For 2 men who went down that mine died there in dreadful plight. They both were drowned deep underground. For them no more the sight of open skies and summer fields. For them no more the light. And looking back, this tale reveals that inequality that has been there since we first wrote our brutal history. Man's inhumanity to man is clear for all to see. Snowdon mine was deep and hot, Inferno its nickname, taken from Dante, who composed his tales of hellish flame. And men who worked down there just wore the skin in which they came. And though they were not there pursued by fiends with whips and spears, and could at least escape above, their lives were full of fears. A prison was their day's abode, at night their families' tears. But men can suffer anything if there's camaraderie, and that there was down in the mines to hear and feel and see. And men from Wales and northern climes could laugh together, free. Music was their spiritual food, which gave their lives respite. And bands and choirs were part of life, which brought to darkness light. Betts Hanger, Snowdown Colliery, brought fame and sheer delight. For in the central heart of man there is a flame which glows, that never will be quite put out whatever fate bestows. And music keeps that flame alive throughout our deepest woes. Another name is Tilmanston. Its weak geology and poor investment were first cause of yet more tragedy. A hoppet fell right down the shaft, this time killing 3. A pal of mine, Old Blandy, was sub-manager down there. In him I saw philosophy and strength of will to fear, but what a strength of humour lived beneath that face severe. And Chislet, mainly mined by Welsh till closed in '69, is now become a nature park on river marshes fine. The river Stour flows fresh and free, unlike men in that mine. There is a seam of coal that runs from the Basque to southern Wales, then on to Pennsylvania beneath Atlantic gales. It's called the Great Atlantic Fault, the source of many tales. Welshmen who worked that seam, it said, loved its coal like a woman's face, and found a beauty in the mines, fierce pride, never disgrace. Aristocrats they were of work, like none in the human race. The miners came to Betts Hanger, close to the town of Deal. Some people there were quite refined, and others quite genteel. And miners' dirt and hobnail boots have not, my dear, the least, my dear, appeal. And notices were put in shops. We want no miners here. And other places sold off food, inferior stuff to clear, just for the miners who were seen as immigrants to fear. Not that the miners cared that much. We scarcely understand how very hard and tough they were, like men who work the land, or those who spend their lives at sea, living by mind and hand. They had their own community, close, tight, and very strong, and lived indifferent to the folk they did not live among, although as time moved on, of course, they merged, came to belong. Betts Hanger, 1927, the biggest mine in Kent. And men who worked that colliery thought fate had good intent, till a certain Mrs. Thatcher came. Then on to strike they went. No use. It closed in '89. A century had passed. Since coal mining in Kent began, Betts Hanger was the last. 100 years, a history, like an instant past. For miners' interests were set against economy, and money's words will always win in a controversy, and people's lives become forfeit and pay a dreadful fee. And we should not belittle this or fail to understand the depth of strife and misery that came upon Kent land, or think that we know history, we just know second-hand. They should be heroes to us now, like men who fought the war, because fight they did, and showed us how the human soul can soar from caverns measureless to man. We'll see their like no more. Now the mines have turned to marsh, and coal pit back to field. And nature has reclaimed her place from pits forever sealed. So memories may soften yet and some forgiveness yield. For all the strife of history teaches but one refrain, that there's no future in a life of bitterness, no gain. Can youth and laughter turn the tide of grievance once again? If you walk out from Northern Deal upon a springtime ground, and take the track to Foulmead Park, and climb its gentle mound, go right up to the top of it, and sense the past around. For, as the slag and dust are now a bed for flowers bright, so human grief we know will turn from darkness back to light. Man's inhumanity to man be finally set